Hi, welcome back. My name is Francisca Bracken John, and the word for today, if my voice is sounding a little bit congested, is because I have a little thing, but the word for today, and then jump straight into the word, is taken from First Samuel. I'm looking down because I was literally studying this, and the 15th chapter, right, is when Saul had disobeyed God's instructions when he told them to go and kill all the Amalekites, right? Kill everyone, woman and child, everything, all the livestock and everything. But he decided to himself not to kill everything. He wanted to himself to he wanted to himself to keep some stuff, keep all the, okay, I'll kill the things where, so good, and the ones good, I would keep them. And the kingdom got torn away from him. And God was telling me something there, and he said, watch out that. He said, sometimes we want to do will feel right to us, right? And the things we feel so right to us. But I will do that, but I know about that one, whoever it is. And he began to tell me, he said, look down, and he says, better to obey than to sacrifice. And he said he gives instructions for a reason. Saul saw all the things that he had there, and he wanted us to keep the good of it, and the things will look good. And he said, it's like he used this example, and he says, like, he tell you, don't go there, don't talk to that person, don't have anything to do with that person, don't even say hi to that person, just totally cut all ties with someone. And you still, maybe I could just wave to them or whatever it is, ain't nothing, or maybe I could go wrong them, but I just wouldn't talk any no business with them. And he said it's better to obey than to sacrifice, because sometimes that person that you just wave to, that person could say, you see, we still cool or whatever, and or you just stand up, you just go and stand up and have a conversation, and it could be about the sky being blue or rain falling, and they go and they say, you ain't know with that person, where she just not tell me, she told me X, Y, and Z, and you ain't say nothing, but based on your affiliating with that person, based on your connection with that person, people think, we well cool or whatever it is, people think to themselves that it's true what she's saying about you, you ain't know where she just don't tell me about you, and she does and she that, and that person could be, they go and they take out your picture with them or whatever, and you see we well cool or whatever it is. The enemy is very tricky. He's very tricky. And then we're wondering to ourselves, why is it that certain things ain't happening, or why is it that this ain't happening? We say because it's better to obey than to sacrifice. God gave us instructions for a reason. When he said completely cut ties, completely don't do this, don't do it completely, he's not just saying that because, okay, he has a reason for everything that he said. You understand? Saul lose his kingdom because God saw disobedience in him. The reason, if it is that he had continued on like that, he said he saw disobedience in Saul, meaning he could work with someone whoever it is, but you see someone who's disobedient, bluntly disobedient to his word, don't want to listen to his word. He said, remember, he gave you instruction, and the instruction is to keep you on top, is to keep you prosperous in all your ways, is to keep that thing that he has given you. He gave you a good relationship, he gave you a good marriage, he gave you a good body, he gave you whatever it is, right? And he gave you certain instructions, what not to do, what to do when problems come up. Remember the video that I spoke about? If you don't, look back in the videos when I spoke about the ark and the building of the ark, and it had specific instructions, and the instructions was there for a reason. It's just so God gave you specific instructions, and it's there for a reason, and to obey it completely, not halfway, completely. He give you instructions as to how to handle that thing when, if you hear anything, it's just my son doing that. He give you instruction as to how to handle that thing when there's problems, when there's strife, when it's going through wherever it is, when anything come up, he give you instructions. And some of us, when we get to the stumbling block in the road, and when we get to those things, instead of going back and looking for the instructions, we want to give it up, and we want to do this. And he says, better to obey than to sacrifice. You understand? It's better to obey than to sacrifice. Saul wanted us to do the part that felt good to him, and the part that did not felt good to him, he don't want to do that. Okay, so I will go and I will praise him. I will praise God, but I will go, I will go too into the Christian thing. Okay, I will praise God, but I know about, going. It's like we are now, people are not seeing the manifestation, because God, the manifestation is connected to your total obedience to His word, not the part that you just like. And I feel like if this is even speaking about certain things that I've been doing, you understand? But not the part that you just like. Don't think to yourself that I'm sitting down here and I'm speaking and I'm perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm one that tries to be. I try every day. I'm human just like you, and I can afford to be able to give you certain advice, because I've failed in many areas and I've seen God give me instructions that will raise me back from those areas, that pull me back to who I am today, to have better. So it's like you stamp your foot once there, and because you keep on stamping your foot, you ask God, listen, okay, how can I stop stamping my foot? And He say, okay, this is what you need to do. I'm the one who have been stamping my foot, and I literally ask God, okay, what to do to stop stamping my foot? That is just an example. Just using the foot thing as an example. Understand? Something just came to my phone. So it's just an example. It's not that however it is. So I can afford to give this advice, because the more you feel is the more you know not how to not feel, right? So many of us, we want to be like Saul, and we are losing the rule over our marriage. We are losing the battle in our marriage. We are losing the battle when it comes to our body, because we are partway obeying God. We are partway, we still rebellious. We part, okay, I will do this part, but I will do this part, like Saul was doing. And he said this is why certain manifestations cannot come about, because God can deal up with obedience. He can deal up with obedience, but not disobedience. Because the whole thing of you being on top and never failing, like He never failed, you have to walk the footsteps that He walked. You have to follow His instructions. You have to do what He say. So the whole thing with Him, with you seeing those blessings, depends on your obedience to His word. Remember, He never fails. When you walk in His footsteps, you never fail. It's not the other way around. When you part to walk in His footsteps, when the devil see you in him and he in you, then everything that thou ask you shall have. So anyway, take the warning today, subscribe and like, share these videos, and remember what I say, total obedience, right? Stay blessed, stay strong, remember.